RQ take a more aggressive approach here, especially since this team has not farmed up quite yet, hasn't been able to get their proper weapons yet. And as the more time flies, goes by, the more I would say the fighting field becomes more equal, and you want to take advantage of that.
True enough. And I guess certain teams, they take this stance where, this is our very first game in Rondo, especially for a newly promoted PMNC team who has never really played this competitively in this map. Then they would rather hold back a little bit more. So there's still a little bit more of that wiggle room on stage one where they can still tank maybe a little bit of that blue zone. So that can be in consideration as well. So I think it's not too worrisome just yet for some of these teams that seem to be side by side, one against another. So RQ, as much as they really want to go for that approach, I wonder if they're really fully stacked up just yet in the form of loots and stuff. Meanwhile, we go back to the rest of Sem9. Sem9 doesn't seem to have too much of a roster shift, and they've been able to deliver very great results coming into some recent tournaments that they've played out as well, where they've been able to hit a consistent top 5 in, classic maps like Miramar as well as Wrangle. But Rondo is a big hit scratcher, right? Well, we don't really know who exactly is going to be a dominant team in this map, and that's what I want to figure out in this season.
Well, we're finding out very soon. Circle now kind of shifted toward the southeast side. Just now it's quite more centralized, so we're seeing a mad shift from the left side of the map to the right. The north side especially, I wish you guys could see this, is just very, very packed. Oh, for you guys who don't know as well, we also have EMP zones on this map as well. Contra, would you mind explaining to us what is an EMP zone?
Okay, so some of these weapons or even vehicles, they run on electronics or batteries. So if these teams happen to be inside of an EMP zone, those vehicles or attachments, they don't work at all. So they gotta make considerations when they are actually trying to either move into an EMP zone to actually pick up a fight, or even try to leave sometimes in a very...
Gonna get completely swarmed. You wanna expect him to just really isolate fights. Oh my god, he does get one. Not enough for a trade, so Helton falls. Shouldn't be too problem. It's the first blood finally after so long. It's not too bad as well, as Ryan will be the next one to go. And this is a good thing still. I mean, they still have another, 2 players still alive. They can still bring them back into the game if they want to. And this is where things get a bit more slippery, right? You kind of go through in a situation where, usual fights go for a 3-1-3 or a 4-4 just push, or a 2-2 just full all in from 2 different sides. But this time around, you have a designated person to stay a little bit back, just be the guy who's there to run away, to go for those revives. And this could be the support player, if you ask me, the one who's just handling those long-range pickoffs.
Yeah, really good angles being worked around by these members of RQ. We got a glimpse of those players being inside the EMP zone, and that tells them they just really have to commit. Here comes Ganyang, new addition to the rest of RQ, as he's going for the chase up against that member of MXG, but he's on wheels, so he's going to be able to traverse right across. One member being knocked down, they're going to go in for the revive, but they're charging right through right now, sending 2 members up top to challenge the duo of RQ. Playing out close and personal, Nepeko holds it down, and it's Ganyang drawing the blood out of KTN, and now RQ withered down a little bit, but he's not going to be stopping at nothing. Nepeko secures it.
Nice shots coming through. Love how he played as well. Very patient, holding on the line first, trying to get as much info as he can. The circle is shifting. We're seeing a lot of teams still outside the zone here. Later rotations. RRQ is not the only one there. We're also looking at Homeboys, NST, BTR, Sem9 from the northern side as well, running for their lives. It's still fairly early, so I don't think anyone is super phased. But if anything, I'm more concerned about those who are playing, at the side of the circles. Teams like FaZe Clan, who love to, just pick off teams who are in a more desperate situation. Arena as well is another one of them as well. And because these 2 teams have placed themselves to the western side, where a majority teams are rotating in, a possibility for them to have really good areas, high grounds, compounds is going to be high. So teams that are crossing them need to be a little bit more alert on how they want to approach these rotations.
Yeah, true enough. On top of that, holding some of all these terrains would be very beneficial in the long run. But the problem is that circle's going all the way down southeast. So we've already got DX, Excelsior, and it seems like that member of MXG is holding it down, knocking 2 more out of RQ. Can he actually clutch this situation? They're still in the blue zone. The Carrot's health bar is dropping low, and that one tap will secure it for RQ.
Nice. Sometimes you just need that one person to really secure these rounds in RQ. I feel like from last season till now, still, kind of like surviving by the skin of their teeth. Now they don't have to worry too much about bringing in too many at once as well. And somehow as well, Homeboys had lost 3 throughout the entirety of that. MXG already out. Exosphere now in trouble. See, Lobby is just so, Lobby is already so low right now as well. So they need a bit of space just to go for this reset. And for NST, because they're not really pressing the issue, it gives a bit of breathing room for this team to really bring themselves back into the game. Not too sure what exactly is the play here for NST. They're holding on the line. They don't really want to push the issue. They're being very cautious right now, marking angles and not really going in alone. And speaking of going in here, Sem9, huge start. Finding BTR is huge for them as they finally clear red phase as well. You have still another member like Federalis alone, knocked down to barely any HP left, but he's managed to bring his teammates back before he goes down, so kudos to him. Speed is the name of the game.
Yeah, speaking of speed, Pmsl is charging right through, looking for his target. He's got a glimpse of the back, and just like that, one tap is all it took for Pmsl to secure it. 3 back-to-back for the side of Sem9. BTR not off to a great start, but hey, I think that it's a decent approach coming from BTR. They wanted to look for a fight. They still have 1 surviving member, so they could still look out for a revive point, which is what Razy is doing to bring his teammates back alive.
I'm surprised not seeing a strat where teams are camping revive zones, It'll be so good, just really catch people off guard and just really bait them. I've seen a lot of those happening before. Regardless, BTR, everyone back safely into the game. And I think this is what makes this map so interesting. Just able to just really bring people back and just farm them off one by one. A lot majority of the kills is just going to RQ. They have 4 eliminations already. And it's looking great for them. They barely survived the initial scuffle. But regardless, they're still, surviving as a 4. They're still winning these major fights as well. Not too far behind is also Sem9 and Exosphere. Really good stuff. Sem9, I think they're still following the same trajectory from before, day 1 heroes. And, again, this season I'm asking again, can this be consistency for them? Can they break the curse of being day 1 heroes and, going quiet the next few days?
Well, we'll have to really see if they've been able to really break that curse that you've mentioned. And right now, I mean, we saw a lot of casualties happen in the early game. And because of all these revive points, everyone who's pretty much having 1 or 2 members alive, they get to really go for that grand reset. And now, other than MXG, everyone's super healthy, other than, those who are hanging around the blue zone. So it kind of gives this map a little bit more of a forgiving state where you could just go in for some really aggressive plays. And speaking of aggressive plays, Boom Esports, 1 member being knocked down, and the rest of Exosphere looking to see if they could capitalize on this situation.
Interesting place here. I mean, look at where Danching is. This compound is very, very packed. There's 4 teams sharing this entire area. Everyone just playing in their corners. As 5-2, Ryan in trouble. Knocked down. Voin as well. Knocked down as well. A lot of fights happening here, and I'm not surprised because everyone's just trying to rotate to find the middle of the circle, and for good reason. This is the only place that has proper cover as well as elevation to play with. On top of that, in the middle of the circle means that it's easier to rotate if the circle does hard shift later. The rest of the teams outside the area just scattered out there as Levi, nice nade onto a player before. Knocked him completely out, but not enough to really have a team wipeout and to really dwindle out a team, really stop them from being able to collect points. You want to be able to go for a team wipe, but every team is doing so good at having that 1 designated player stay alive, quickly bring them back into the game, and they go for round 2, round 3. It's all about getting, that volume in terms of eliminations for this particular map, and I think teams really understand this very, very quickly.
Absolutely, and right now you can see how congested it gets. RQ now arriving the scene to try to challenge up ahead up against these members of 52 Esports. 52 hunkered down, and the Paco instantly getting pummeled by Lamborghini on the opposite corner, and Well, that's one member down very swiftly. Our RQ got to hold back for a slight bit because Ganyang is also getting tagged. And now it's
nice.
Lapar soaking all the brunt of the damage coming in from the Deathblade. And Kido's going to be able to just put one more point in to ensure at least 52 Esports gets a good start heading into this map.
Kido ate a lot of damage there, and the rest of 5-2 is just waiting in the wings, waiting for the right time to just really push out here. They don't want to give them these isolated fights. They don't want to give them 1v1s. But they take it too long. Lapar is already back in the game here. Ganyang waiting in the wings. This guy, this newcomer, has not only been huge in terms of eliminations, but also keeping the team intact. Lapar barely alive, but the other members of RRQ is close. They're rallying. So 5-2 in a stalemate for the time being. Kido barely alive, and he eats the full force of that Molotov. And for now, the circle just hard shifts here. It's not going to be easy for everyone who's outside the compound. They're stuck outside, and it's going to be even harder to get in, especially with the teams inside of the area. But everyone's fighting for a piece of that pie. Blind shots all around here. Manzi in the corner, somehow managing to find his way to Kido as the rest of his teammates take away that space to give them that space to play with as well. The corners cleared. Homeboys close as well as RRQ slowly take an inch bit by bit, and 5-2 hunkered in the corner. One nade is all it needs to take them out.
And they have 3 members, and they're holding back for so long. And RQ, they capitalize all through the Deathblades, and just like that, crushes 5-2 Esports. Wow. An overwhelming attack onto those members of 52 have ensured that they walk away with 6 points in total, topping the charts right now. Our RQ Ryu is on to something.
Honestly, I was really expecting and hoping for 5-2 to go a bit more aggressive, take up this space, really fire up here, but they hunkered down in a corner where you're just stuck. It's so easy to get naded out, to get molotoved out in the area. And now for E-Arena, they're not in trouble. NSD rushes forward. Kenboy, great opening into Sakura as well. Joker needs to be picked up. Kenboy, barely alive. NSD decides, you know what, we're not going to bait you, Sakura. Let's just try and rush forward to the rest of the team here. But the thing is, you can bring your teammates back. So his teammate just waiting for them to bleed out to death before finally bringing them back in the game. He's not going to try and contest them for that revive.
Yeah, they're just going for all-out trades at this moment. Joker taken down, as well as you're seeing more and more of these teams getting wiped out because so many of them were battling inside of Danqing, and we see all these casualties happen because of them traversing into the terrain where you don't have any cities to vote other than Danqing, and right now even more so for the side of D-Saber getting overwhelmed by Homeboys Magna. Stuck in a pickle right now. Parajin tries to give them a little bit
What
more.
a need.
Definitely over onto the corner, clipping over Shamil. Levi still holding by his own as well. Another one hitting onto Kim. And now this is so doable for the rest of the Savior to turn the tides around. And Levi, all he's got to do right now is hunt for the final member, Shamil. What more can he do in this corner? He tries to turn back, and he does get it in return.
Gotta give it to Meryl. He just held the line. But Parajin is also here to play. Spoiler, waits for him, marks the corner, waits for that wide swing. Parajin, you read this team like a book. And now he's healthy. He can still bring his teammates back into the game as well. As on the other side of the map here, FaZe looking for a way up. Voxy is not making it easy. Canary knocked down as well as Chaco and Chopper looking to rush forward together as a team. If they're able to get a nice crossfire, nice double swing, they're able to just really take it to the top. But they're in trouble here. This terrain is not in their favor.
Not so much for the meantime. But at the very same time, FaZe Clan, they cannot afford to push upwards because of the presence of Alter Ego Ares on the other side of the map. So anytime that they advance over the top side of the hill, they will be caught out. Man, going back to the fight between D-Saver as well as those players out of Homeboys, that was insane because Parajin was left with only 1 HP to finish the job. And now, hoping to find a revive point. D-Saver have been able to bring one teammate back alive at the very least to try to hold on, from my assumption. Now back towards the side of FaZe Clan. Now dealing with the situation up against Alter Ego as we have Snape pushing upwards. He's going to challenge them all alone with Canary already being lowered down with a couple of Deathblades being thrown right in. And now calling for a little bit more emergency barricade for them to hold out for the meantime.
Snape gets a nice corner to work with. He can just dwindle down the firepower just a little bit. Goes wide. Not enough to do much here. Alter Ego. His teammates are close. Long range is what they're going for. They left Kifton a little bit outside of that circle area as well. In case he needs to go for a quick up. Huge. Waiting. Still. They're not going to move for quite some time here. Both teams just lobbing nades. Both going huge. I'm kind of expecting or hoping for a team to go a little bit more aggressive. And that'll be Team Secret. As Redface once again finds himself in the wings all alone here. But RQ somehow another corner makes it hurt for the rest of Secret to knock down already. Tries to stabilize to find an angle, but they can't really see as well. Those smokes are also a hindrance to themselves.
Yeah, it's so tough for them. I mean, they got caught in this crossfire where all the other teams were around this vicinity, and now they have to huddle all together to go in for that reset. The rest of Team Secret have to deploy plenty of all these smokes in order to keep themselves alive. And particularly that, GK, just take an instant peek, and he got caught out by the members of NST from around the corner. Baseline now, getting a little bit of crease to try to challenge up against those members of Team Secret. Alter Ego's the one that managed to clip out Chaco, and now here goes the full onslaught, calling in Cavalry, and Krypton is gonna cause them a whirl of hurt with this double push coming right through.
Takes a bit of chip damage here. Nice timing from Snape here just to really go a bit more aggressive. Has his teammate as the bait, and he just plays cleaning up house. Earth falls as well. And somehow in the wings, we have another team knocked down already. FaZe also eliminated as well. Alter Ego doing a great job of playing that explosive style play, just catching them off guard. You were not expecting one player just swing out of the corner and just completely spray you down. As NST, they've been quite active this entire map, moving around. They've taken kills, they've taken names, they have 2 eliminations already, but they haven't really been super secure, been able to secure these kills as well. Instead of pushing the issue, I think we saw more of NST just holding out the lines, watching corners and, you know, watching flanks instead of going in full-blown fights, regardless of the ability to revive.
Yeah, the Western side, they're definitely in a very troublesome spot because they can't really afford to really move too far off from their position because of all these open terrains. Meanwhile, for those inside the city of Danjing, it's been a gridlock situation between esports as well as Todak right now, trying to settle the scores, moving onwards up against another, but there's still the presence of the Saber that they have to worry about right across those corners. But right now, the citizens of Danjing, they got to move onto the outskirts instead to face up against Team Secret as well as Alter Ego eventually. So this actually gives the party back towards the side of RQ Ryu, who's been able to go for those revives. And now the tides have turned against the rest of Alter Ego, despite them actually securing a whole lot. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of all these back and forth trades going on. Octa now getting bombarded, and it's only down to Mastery and Yummy.
Rushing forward here, trying to find a different way to approach this Mokta, and Ponbit downed. So firepower definitely not in their hands. Could do with just slowing down a tad bit. Let the other teams fight first. Oh, Mastery took a full force of that nade as well. His teammate now alone. Not too sure how he has to start this as well. You go out, you're out in the open, you're in trouble. Granted, how Toda has positioned themselves on the top side. They're trying for D Xavier, they're trying to flush them off this area. But it's not going to be the easiest thing to do with Renzi as well, just really, you know, rallying back. But the blue zone is going to shift. And like it or not, you got to move into the area. With the amount of people just bottlenecking your movement, it's not going to be the easiest as well.
It's just so difficult for them to actually go for the direct challenge right now. From the outskirts to the city, these teams are scrambling for those spaces. And Todak now back against the wall. They try to find a little bit of crease to hold up, but over onto the outskirts, we go back towards the side of Alter Ego, dominating on all their fights as they take out Todak of Malaysia for a 17-point elimination spree.
Crazy stuff. RQ. They started off really hot and they're still on a rampage. As Lobby knocked down already, the nades are huge. We're seeing a lot of nade eliminations today, just starting it hot. I think because of the terrain as well, a lot of players are starting to understand that they can really abuse the angles and corners. Nakey waiting in the back. Not too sure how he's going to approach this as well, since he's barely alive as well, limping. And Alter Ego, once they decide they have their grasp on you, they put in that pressure. It's hard to run away.
It's so difficult out there. I mean, Alter Ego Aries right now got the full control of the space inside the zone that it makes it almost impossible for all these citizens of Danche to even step out because all these crosshairs are pointed towards that southeastern direction. D-Saver, they find themselves taking down the rest of Boop Esports, and now it's only down to Dep. Can he find anything in return? Apparently not. That will be the last hustle coming in, and now down to 3 teams. The Pekko gets the trade done, takes out the E-Savers member, and now it's only 1 left, and it's Nate T. 1 against 3. Is he gonna make miracles happen right now? I'm afraid that won't be the case. The Bulls is already approaching, and they got him all cornered up. Now the battle's between RRQ versus Alter Ego. El Clasico between the Indonesians to secure the first chicken dinner of the PMSL Southeast Asia.
Honestly, it's so rough. Alter Ego, they were waiting outside in the wings. They didn't have value. So the teams that are stuck in the compounds are now in trouble because the circle shifted away. Anyone peeks out, players like Krypton, like Moana, like Rosemary immediately spray them out. And that's a winner chicken dinner to start them off real hot right now. This team looks fire. Alter Ego, this is what they wanted.
A 20K bomb to start off their run. Alter Ego Aries are looking to find themselves another championship title if they can continue on with this